What is going on? Welcome back to another episode of Wheel to Wheel. And I have noticed one thing about Grant. 2 days ago he was wearing a lot of red.
Oh,
Whole lot of red. And then all of a sudden it just disappeared.
oh man, that's no good.
Just like
That's
the
no
points
good.
today. You had a whole bunch and then they just up and disappeared. I'm kidding.
Oh,
That was kind of cruel, but it's true. That was crazy.
I'll start it off with the take that I have, and the thing I'll go with here is that look, they tested X amount of cars from the grid, and three people got DQ'd. I guarantee if they tested everybody, there's going to be a problem with more cars than not. That's a brutal race on the car. A lot of high speed turns. Tire wear is at all time high, even though there was the weather change between the sprint and the actual Grand Prix was a lot. Heat on the track, etc. Tire wear was less. Um, I don't know. It's tough, but what can we do? You know.
What can you do? All I know is that Williams and Ferrari are tied in the constructors, both with 14. If you did not win that sprint race, this weekend would have been a whole lot worse.
Yeah, that could have gotten brutal quick. I'm not disappointed in the performance of the Ferrari. Um, the only thing that did kind of trick me up, this is for my team specifically, is that Chuck broke his wing
Hmm.
and was faster than Lewis.
Hmm.
Lewis was on the radio saying, like, come on, guys, give me feedback. Tell me where I'm losing. I think there was multiple occasions of this, and that's a growing pain, especially with the new race engineer. Bono knew how Lewis operated. They worked together for so long that it was seamless towards the end. Bono knew what Lewis needed. Lewis knew exactly what to ask Bono. Now we're in an instance where, uh, to be honest, I don't think either of the race engineers at Ferrari are worth a dang. I mean, they're Charles is always, you know how it goes. I mean, Ferrari is always having problems with
Strategy. Yeah.
information, strategy, etc., and that comes down to maybe a process they have in place that they need to change. Who knows? But um, all in all, not super disappointed with the performance of the car, but the end result is very unfortunate.
Yeah. I mean, it definitely sucks for you guys. I will say it was good that Charles was looking fast again. I feel like there was like a little bit of doubt, which was ridiculous.
Yeah,
It was so early, and for Lewis to only be faster than him in the sprint in a couple of their situations for people to be freaking out. But yeah, Charles looked really good. I will say it was definitely growing pains where Lewis is now asking for feedback, where last race he was telling everybody to shut the hell up and let him do his thing. So I mean,
yeah,
they're definitely just trying to figure out when I should interject versus when I should stay quiet. And I will say I feel like Lewis has gotten a little bit more sensitive to calls and instructions going over the radio to him as he's gotten into his more advanced age in F1, which
yeah,
is fair because he knows probably better than most strategists what to do. But I think now they're just going to have to teeter that line and kind of figure out how they're going to have that relationship.
yeah.
Um, from
I'm
a
with you.
Williams, sorry, go ahead.
I'm with you. I think maybe a particular thing you're talking about would be when they wanted to switch positions, when they wanted to let Charles by. And they
Mm-hmm.
were saying, we will switch positions at turn 14. And Lewis was like, look, I get it, but I'll tell you when we need to switch. That's one of Lewis's best tracks in his career. I think you gotta approach that a different way as a race engineer, knowing that, okay, our guy is strong here. He won the sprint. He has a great history here. We need to tell him, instead of we're going to switch turns in 14 or switch spots in turn 14, to say, hey, we're going to flip positions, make it happen.
Yeah, exactly.
Uh,
Don't tell him when to, just tell him what needs to be done and he'll execute in his own fashion.
exactly. He knows when Chuck is on his butt, and he knows what different line he could take to let Chuck by and not have a problem. But it's, again, all in all, unfortunate. The other hand, all in all, great race, clean, awesome track. I love that track.
Super
Great course.
interesting.
But um, for me, my opinion, disappointed to see Fernando go out
Yeah.
on the Aston Martin train. Strolled
Stroll.
again,
I know.
again, man.
I know.
But take the DQs out. Stroll performed back to
Unbelievably.
back weeks.
Uh-huh. Stroll finished. What did he finish in the end of it? He finished P9.
Points for the team.
Yeah, points for the team. Quick Williams recap, double points for the team. Alex got P9, obviously, originally before the DQs, which was fantastic. Back-to-back points. He is driving that car, man, and it is
Oh
so
yeah,
good to see. He led the race for a little bit. I took a screenshot because I'm a dork. I was excited. It was cool to see a W at the top. I'm impressed. I mean, he knows how to drive a Williams for some reason. I mean, he's been driving for how long now, and he's just gotten the
yeah.
hang of the feel.
It's part of
Carlos
it.
has yet to get there, which is very understandable. Showed a little bit more promise this week, but I think they just need to tweak it around his driving style, and I think they're gonna. I'm not really in a rush. To have double points in the second race of the season is better than any season I've watched ever with
Yeah,
Williams. I mean, in recent history, obviously, if you go back and watch some
that's
replays of old races, Williams is
boring.
running the
Long ago.
board. But yeah, no, it was a good week. And also, it's just funny. Everybody goes, it's absolute cinema for Carlos to get his first Williams points because of a Ferrari fuck up. So
Yeah, yeah, that's uber true.
yeah, it's
Again,
not good, but it is kind of ironic and funny. So
yeah. All right,
we're
so if we're gonna get into a bit here, give me your
the best.
rookie driver of the day.
Well, Grant, before that, we have to go to the best wheel to wheel moment. I mean, come on.
Okay, yeah, fair. Who you got?
I would say it has to be one of many, but I think my favorite was, I mean, one of many of Ollie's overtakes. Chow.
Yeah,
Multiple.
yep.
He had multiple. He had what? Duan, Hajar, even Signs. I think he took over
Signs.
Signs too.
Yep.
So he was driving in the Haas, and he was just driving. He looked great. Those are my favorite.
Yep. Wheel to wheel for me would be the same thing. Ollie looked like he had command over that car, which was good to see, especially
Yes.
after last week. It's a letting the air out of the balloon, confidence wise for him last week. It was a tough race for that team in general.
Yes.
Um, Ocon drove really well, but my
Yes.
wheel to wheel moment would be to differentiate from you. I'm going to agree on the Ollie overtakes. He was on one. But I'm going to give it to Max's charge towards the end.
Yeah.
Praise to him, dude. That car in low fuel looks dangerous. A little lighter. It can move.
Happened last week too.
Yeah. I mean, the moves he made towards the end of that race, just the pace in general was awesome. A lot of overtakes, drove really well. I think it was Leclerc. He kind of dummied into turn 1 or 2 towards the end, and then just cooked him.
Yep.
It was Max fashion. You can't say that that's not Max Verstappen, but props to him.
That
It
was
was
the
a
best
sketchy
overtake.
start, and dude, that overtake was insane.
You're correct. That was the best overtake. There was like the multiple defense moves Charles did, and the announcers even said it looked like Max knew exactly what he was going to do
Yep.
and said, "Thank you. I was expecting you to do that," and just zoomed
Yep.
right past him on the outside. It was amazing. I
Thanks
do
for
agree.
doing what I thought. I'm gonna get by you.
Yeah, exactly. So I guess with that being said, these kind of go hand in hand. But who is your driver of the day? Kimmy Antonelli won driver of the day, and those are
I
just
don't
starting to
agree.
be popularity competitions. Kimmy did not have the best driver of the day. Kimmy's still being impressive. I don't think there's anything wrong with his driving, and I'm not taking away from what he did, but he was not the best driver of the day.
Agreed. I think he got a little bit screwed on strategy. Um, like he pitted and came out in a whole bunch of traffic. I think
Mm-hmm.
he did have a little bit of a slow stop. I think Russell actually had a little bit of a slow stop too. So maybe a thing to work on for Mercedes there, but not Kimmy for me. Yes, he drove well. Yes, he is impressive. But end of the day, my driver of the day, honestly, Piastri.
Okay.
It was exactly what we predicted. That
It
car in
was.
clean air, he gets out to a lead, he's going to dominate. And that is exactly what he did. He did not mess up the whole entire race. He was
Yes.
perfect.
Yes. And you said it was going to be Oscar Norris, Verstappen.
Yep.
And I think I said Oscar Norris, Russell.
Yep.
So I
We were
got that.
close.
Yeah. I got the top three right. I think I got the fourth incorrect, but no, I got fourth correct too. But I did not get the fifth incorrect. In fifth place is my driver of the day, Esteban Ocon.
Yeah.
To
Dude,
drag
he
the
drove,
Haas. So, I
man.
mean, he finished P7 before, yeah, he's finished behind the Ferraris, I believe.
Yep.
And so he finished P7 originally before the DQs, but dude, fifth place in a Haas is crazy, man.
Yeah. Great points for that team. That makes our preseason take look a little less bad.
Yes, I would agree.
They performed. I think a week off going into this next race, they go in with a lot of confidence, which I'm glad. I'm not the biggest Ocon guy, but
Me neither.
that driver lineup, personally for me, I think it's pretty cool.
It's pretty
I'd like
awesome.
to see them do well. It's the only U.S. team. We're both from the U.S. Yeah, you don't hate to see them do well,
I agree.
and I hope they keep the momentum going because great race.
I would agree. I think it was good once again, and they're now sitting sixth in the constructors at 14. And Williams is currently in front of Ferrari, but they're tied for 17, fourth and fifth. So,
Yep.
I mean, they're 3 points behind both of our teams, 4 and 5. So, it's interesting. And then the question is, well, we'll get into this a little bit, but we got best and worst rookies. I think we kind of touched on this already. My best rookie was Ollie Behrman.
Yep.
He drove amazing. What a bounce back. I mean, to come off of such a bad, I mean, even Isaac Hadjar had a great bounce back. The results at the end weren't what he wanted, but I think he raced like a pretty competitive, good race. He had some good fights with Duhan in the back, who was impressing me with his defense until he locked up and pushed him off. But yeah, I mean, just a bounce back for all the rookies that slammed into the wall. Sadly, Bortoleto couldn't get the pace up and was just stuck at the back end. But I think Behrman just was on one. He really was feeling the car, which is cool. And it just kind of shows that potentially the wet and just that really, really early stage for Haas was not it. I'm 100% with you on what you just said. I think the week off could show some promise to where they're going to be in that midfield battle with Williams, and it's going to be a really tight race.
Yeah. Yeah. Confidence boost. Let's see. My rookie. Oof. I can tell you my most disappointing rookie.
Yeah, you can hit us with the worst. Go for it.
Yeah, let's go Liam.
Yeah. Again.
Not good. I just sent you a thing right before we started this.
Lots of rumors already. Yeah.
Lots of rumors surrounding that team, that seat, that car. Scary times for Red Bull. Max is still performing. Good for him. That team is so much better with two drivers, as any team is. So I hope they get it figured out. They've been on a dominant run, and I think a lot of people, including myself, you don't love to see history to an extent. We like kind of what we're comfortable with, what we've seen. But I want them to have a good second driver for Max's sake.
Mm-hmm.
The past year, he was almost a solo team. But most impressive rookie for me, I'd probably have to say Ocon 2. I was
Ocon? You mean
liking.
Behrman?
Oh shit, Behrman. Yeah,
Fernando Alonso.
the same team. But I liked Bortoleto early lockup spinoff. You knew it was going to happen to a rookie at some point.
Mm-hmm.
Kimi drove well. I'll hit on it again. Strategy mishap or pit stop mishap, what have you. Came out in much traffic. It was hard to go. The thing I like to see with the rookies is Kimi, Hadjar, Ali, etc. All the dudes, all the guys, they got in a scrap. They drove. They
Mm-hmm.
had racing moments where they weren't like, okay, I'm just in clean air. I'm in 13th, and I just have to finish this race. No, they were going wheel to wheel. They were driving. They had to figure out the car, and they had to race to get a spot. So it was promising to see that, okay, the rookies, while maybe they were battling rookies or a lesser car the whole time, weren't afraid to throw a dive bomb or try to get ahead of somebody, throw a dummy and try and mess somebody up. I think it showed promise for our younger class in the sport, which I thought was awesome.
Yeah. And I will say it's a refreshing look, and I hate to rub salt in the wound, but like Sargent early on lost his confidence and then was just scared to make moves. And I'm glad that even after literally almost all of them crashed last week, they all came back and, as you said, just were racing. So that was super refreshing, and I'm with you. It keeps me optimistic. Duhan keeps impressing me. I keep
Yeah,
thinking
same.
I keep thinking he's gonna have a Lawson moment, but he isn't. He's keeping close enough to Gasly to where I feel like they can't be like, besides the curiosity of what can Colapinto do in the car, there's no
Mhm.
reason to take him out of the seat. And I think right now Red Bull might be kicking themselves that they didn't pick up Franco or do something along those lines, because I wish they probably wish they could be double dipping, because as we said, there's speculations already, which I'll say what they are, which is that Yuki might be replacing Liam in the main Red Bull car for the Japanese Grand Prix already, which is in 2 weeks, which would be great because it's a home race for Yuki. So how cool would that be if he could have that
Yeah.
experience at his home race? And I just do think it'd be the best for both the drivers. Yuki can show off and hopefully advertise himself well for next year. If he gets signed by Red Bull next year, that'd be the craziest plot twist of all time. You'd have to have a hell of a season.
Yeah.
But I think Liam also needs to develop in the smaller car and just start to get his confidence back, because that thing is too much of a beast for him right now.
Right. I don't think he's a bad driver by any means. Obviously, he would not be in Formula One if he could not drive. His dad isn't a team principal. Sorry, Lance Stroll, even though you're doing well.
Yeah,
But
Lance is driving out of his mind though. So
yeah, again, props to him. Liam's got talent. Um, he's chirpy, which is, I think, okay. He's not super reserved. But yeah, I for Yuki's sake, I hope it works. I know he's so comfortable in the V carb that my fear would be he gets in a new car at his home Grand Prix at, again, another unbelievably cool track. I
mm-hmm.
love that track. But I don't know. I would hate to see him get in this car and make a big mistake rather than, look, go out and ball with what you're comfortable with, and maybe we'll put you in the next week.
Yeah. But I will say, this is a perfect segue, because we're going to talk worst strategy. And I will say one area that keeps hurting him is that I thought today V-carb had the worst strategy. They tried to do an undercut early for the potential for people doing a two-stop, and it never happened.
Yeah, it never worked.
And so they dropped out of the points when they were both starting in the grid pretty high up in the points. So I do agree with you. I do think Yuki has a sense of he doesn't give a rip right now. He's just going to go out and drive and send it and give it a go, as Christian Horner likes to say. And I think he could potentially be dealing with better strategists to
Yeah.
where he actually has the potential to score. Because at the end of the day, we were saying how fast the V carb is, but I mean, I'm pretty sure they're yet to score any points. Yeah, V carb. Oh no, they have
Yeah.
three. They have 3 points.
Three.
Just kidding.
Yeah.
So they only have 3 points right now. So I don't know. And just to think, I mean, Lawson was battling in the back with. I mean, Lawson finished behind Isaac Hadjar in P12, and Hadjar finished P11. So
Right.
woof. See,
Yeah,
somebody else can score more points.
I think so. They won't put Hadjar in that seat. You and I talked about that earlier. There's
They
no
just
way.
can't. They can't.
They can't. They can't make that move. Yuki deserves it. My take would be they're either not going to change anything going into Suzuka or the Japanese Grand Prix, or if Yuki gets in that seat, I want so deeply for him to perform.
Yes.
And if he doesn't, I'll be heartbroken. Or if he
Yeah.
DNFs, gets like Albon and like does the dive bomb and gets in trouble kind of thing, that would kill me for him.
I have a
But yeah,
good feeling about him in that car. I don't know why. I just feel
yeah,
like because he's been rejected so many times, they're finally going to put him in it, and he's going to make a statement and be. They just can't ignore him. If he goes in and he finishes top 5, they can't ignore him.
Nope.
Even if he finishes in the points, they can't ignore him. I mean, the whole second half of last year, Checo wasn't even in the points most of the time, and then Lawson hasn't even touched him yet. So
hasn't sniffed it. You start that with quali. If Yuki makes it to Q3, he's in the
he's
Red
great
Bull,
in quali.
doing a thing. Oh
he's
yeah,
he's been great in quali with the RB every year.
Yeah, he's a one-lap guy, which is good.
And Lawson is the opposite. He seems to not be a one-lap guy. He seems to be better as a racer, but right now everything just looks a little foggy. He's just not comfortable with the car at all.
No, it looks hard, and it shouldn't.
So,
I mean, it is hard, but you train.
Well, yeah, based on why he's there, it shouldn't be as hard as it is. And he's driven the V carb last year successfully in the points and had some really, really great races. So we know what he's capable of, but it was too quick of a jump. Let him get used to that one carb. Maybe stick him in V carb for another 2 years. Let him develop with Isaac, because at the end of the day, he is still a rookie. This is his first full season. So
absolutely.
I don't know.
All right, well, let's get right into worst. Or I guess you hit on your worst strategy.
My worst strategy is V carb. I mean, obviously it was kind of a gamble, but yeah, I still think it was the worst.
Honestly, worst strategy wise, I can agree with you there. I think not that it matters, because it was a double DQ for Ferrari and it's my team and I'm hung up on it. So be it, whatever. I understand why they pitted Lewis. But he dropped behind Max. Max essentially passed Charles when most things were pointing towards that Max was probably going to want to stop it. And Charles was driving well. You almost want another defender in there before Max gets up on him. I think another thing is Lewis is an all-time tire guy, right?
Mm-hmm.
He can make him last. He can make him work. He gets through graining and goes. I'm not going to go as far to say as that they should have pitted Charles, but I think the call to pit Lewis was maybe questionable. He struggled on the hards to begin with. I think Charles, with the half broken front wing, made that car a little better. It made it a little harder on the tires, but he managed it so well. And it almost seemed like he picked up pace on the straights, which makes sense because he's faster. But I don't know. That strategy confused me. Yeah, heartbroken. 0 points for the team.
Well, besides the sprint, but yeah.
Simply lovely.
Simply lovely indeed. It's always the verdicts of V-Carb Ferrari. I think we might have to get rid of that segment just so that we don't talk about V-Carb Ferrari's bad strategy week over week.
Yeah, but, really.
I will say just we touched on worst takes last week. I feel like it's not as relevant. I mean, we may have had some takes at the end of last week's race about this upcoming week, or even discussion of the pre-race episode we did for the Chinese Grand Prix. My worst take was just shitting on Lance Stroll because he's driving out of his mind. I mean, he looks really good. Like he passing guys, he's defending well. He looks really, really good. I don't know if it's something to do with the car or just a mental switch, but he looks great. And honestly, I am so here for it, because it's just awesome to see him performing the way he's performing, because who would have guessed? I would have never guessed. Never.
I'm for him. I'm totally for him. Good for him. I'm happy for that team in general, just to score points. I got nothing bad to say about Stroll. He had some good wheel-to-wheel moments. He had some racy moments. The car didn't look bad. It's a shame Fernando went out.
2 weeks in a row. He hasn't finished a race yet.
This was brake failure, which I get it. I think something that gave me, I don't know if it was hope or maybe just justifying the problem there was, and we haven't talked about this yet, was the Norris problem the last 5 laps.
The brake pedal problem.
That was concerning.
Russell was like about to be passing him. If there was another lap left, it was over. Russell was getting P2.
Lando was literally having to lift and coast halfway down a straight because his brake pedal was dead. I think that maybe it was a one-time problem. one-time hiccup for the team, but the whole idea of the brakes going out, could it have been dirty air? Sure. Lando was complaining about dirty air, but I didn't really get that because Oscar was 4 seconds in front of him, and
Yeah.
Lando gets on the mic and says, "Can you tell him to speed up a little bit so I don't get in dirty air?"
Yeah. I
In,
think
in certain tracks, yeah, you need a lot of space. I didn't. I don't know. That confused me. The brake pedal thing was a concern, but Oscar didn't have the same problem. Will he at some point? Maybe. Who knows?
I think the interesting thing about that was they constantly told Norris not to push. Don't push. You're fine. Let's just finish the race. And then the problem happened. And they're like, this problem is occurring. Let's make sure we're not pushing. Let's not try to get after Oscar. And then he kept going after Oscar. And then the
Yeah.
problem got worse. And I think him just being greedy in that moment and trying to push the race, as he should. He's a race car driver. And of course, he wants the best his teammate, because especially right now, they know most likely one of them is going to be the drivers constructor champion.
Yep.
So they just know whoever gets off to the lead and ends up winning it, it's going to be one of them too, most likely. Unless Mercedes comes in with some package and Russell becomes like a rocket, it's going to be one of the McLarens. And I think Norris almost selfishly pushed himself into a DNF or something, like, I don't know, dropping out of the points even. If that car fully lost brakes, like, how do you even finish?
Yeah. Very valid.
So I don't know.
A room for concern. How big of a concern? I mean, you tell me.
They got
But
2 weeks to figure it out, so I'm not really
yeah,
pressed, but
no. A lot of times, just from history that I've watched sport for a while and kind of understand that side of things. A lot of times you get brake problems when it's hot. Um, it was not hot. Is this a cause for worry for the second half of the season when we get into the summer months and go to the hotter tracks, Austin, Mexico, etc.? Is that a cause for concern to say, look, that McLaren loses the brakes when it gets warm? But
that's true. That could be an issue.
then surely by then they get it solved. But
Probably, but still, I mean, hey, look, if a top team's having issues with the car, I mean, Red Bull virtually never had issues with the car for a while, and then all of a sudden they did,
yeah,
like last year, basically. So, I mean, you never know; these things can sneak up on you. I bet they'll have the jump on it, but I'm with you. It could be interesting.
Yeah.
We have predicted multiple times that there will most likely be a DNF for one of the McLarens. So, who's to say it's a ego thing or it's a mechanical thing? So,
yeah,
I don't know. But before we close, which we'll do here shortly, I'm going to run through the constructors just because after week 2, it's still chaos. We have
yeah,
Alpine, who's shooting for a big year with 0 points. We got VCarb with 3 points. We have Kick Sauber with 6 points. Aston Martin with 10, all of which are Lance Stroll's points. Haas
Crazy.
with 14, which is a mix of Esteban and Ali. 17 with the Ferrari, 17 with the Williams, 16 being Alex, 1 being Carlos. 36 with Red Bull, all 36 being Max.
Yep.
57 with Mercedes, a good mix, majority Russell, and then 78 for McLaren, which
Yep.
is crazy. And then the driver standings is just as interesting. We got Fernando Alonso in last, Bortoleto last. All of the guys are tied for last that are Bortoleto, Alonso, Doohan, Lawson, Gasly, and Hadjar. And then Sainz is 14th with 1 point, which he basically got blessed into today. And then Tsunoda got 3, Ollie Behrman's got 4, Hulk 6, Leclerc 8, and he's currently 10th. 9th, Hamilton with 9. 10 for Lance Stroll, who's in front of both Ferraris. So he's in 8th place. 7th place is Esteban Ocon after 1 race. He has 10 points. Albon has 16 points in 6th. Kimi Antonelli with 22. Oscar Piastri with 34. Then we got 35 Russell, 36 Verstappen, and 44 Lando Norris.
Lando. Yeah.
Dude, it's tight still. Even at the top, it's tight. It's
definitely tight. Through and through, it's tight.
That's like 9 points Russell to the leader and 8 points Verstappen to the leader.
Yeah.
Which is Norris.
And I mean, constructor wise, throw in a 1-2 for Ferrari and that's me.
1-2 for Mercedes, even.
Yeah. You are right in the race.
Yeah. It's exciting. we gotta wait 2 weeks now, but we'll have content for you guys when we have some updates coming in with Lawson's seat and some other things. Who's to say? And we'll keep everybody filled in. Grant, any last words?
That's all I got. Thanks for the views.
Yeah.
Been making some good progress here. So keep it going. Drop a sub, drop a like, give us what you got, share it. Anything y'all want us to cover, let us know. We'll get after
Please
it.
do. Yes. All likes, subscribes, and everything goes a long way as we're a small channel. We're trying to grow. Appreciate everybody. See ya.
Yeah. See ya.